Good morning again. In a time of crisis, it's so inspiring to see people bravely sacrificing and taking risks to take care of others. I'm thinking about the medical professionals and the cleaners and the people working in the supermarkets and pharmacies, putting in long hours to keep all of us safe. There's something deep inside us that respects and admires that kind of sacrifice, because God has made all of us with the capacity and the need to give of ourselves for the good of others. We call that love. There's no better example, though, of perfect and deep love than Jesus himself. In him, we learn what true love really is. John tells us about that in his first letter, 1 John chapter 3, verse 16 to 18. Let's read that together. By this we know love, that he laid down his life for us, and we ought to lay down our lives for the brothers. But if anyone has the world's goods and sees his brother in need, yet closes his heart against him, how does God's love abide in him? Little children, let us not love in word or talk, but in deed and in truth. This week, many people around the world are entering into a new phase of response to the virus. People are emerging from their houses, and we have a fresh opportunity to ask, what should it look like to live together in community, and specifically within a community of faith? The answer is that as followers of Jesus, we must always be known for our deep love for one another. How can we grow in this area? John says the only way to know what true love is to look at God's love for us, which is expressed in the life of Jesus himself. First, we see that true love gives up everything for others. We've seen some amazing acts of love throughout the crisis, but Jesus made the ultimate sacrifice by giving up everything he shared in perfect union with the Father, by coming to earth to suffer and to die, specifically to lay down his life for us. This is not just an example for us to follow, but his death and his resurrection actually give us the strength and the courage to make great sacrifices for one another, because we no longer fear death. And this love is possible because now we have the Spirit of God living in us, which produces this fruit of love. So we're now able to love one another in deep and authentic ways because God loved us and sent his Son to die for us. John also says that God's love abides in us, and it works to open our hearts and our eyes to the needs of those around us. Right now, there are many people in our church community that are facing new challenges and have specific needs in this new phase of daily life that we're entering. We have to keep our eyes and our hearts open to see those needs, and then to give of what we have to support and to care for one another. In fact, John tells us that not giving to those in need is cause to question our relationship with God in the first place. This has always been an important characteristic of God's people, and it's a serious calling for us too in these coming days. Lastly, this text reminds us that true love is built on actions, not just empty words. It's so easy to speak about loving others and to discuss it together as a church family. The challenge and the proof of authenticity is in our actions. Are we visiting those in need? Are we calling and texting and praying for one another? Are we giving sacrificially to the church and to those in need? John is always so clear on this point, that following Jesus requires action and obedience to God's commands. True disciples do more than just learn about Jesus and study him and discuss the gospel together. True disciples live in a way that demonstrates their faith. They obey and they act on the knowledge and the learning that they have. These next weeks and months will be full of new opportunities to show love. Let's be faithful to our calling, and let's show the world the power of true and authentic love. Let's be courageous together as a community of faith, and let's follow Jesus and be known for our deep love for one another.